There you go, in Atlanta.
I'll take my shot on the Atlanta. Depth strike Atlanta. Decent dispersion. Oh! 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 The Roma! What is up, bros? Me, Josh here. Today's video is all about the Tier 8 Italian battleship, the Roma. Now, this is the second Italian battleship to hit World of Warships behind Caesar Salad or the Julius Caesar at Tier 5, which is an amazing battleship. And this also is a really fun battleship. I enjoy playing this ship all the time, and I think it is a total blast. I like stealthy battleships, and that is exactly what this ship is. Imagine a stealthy, tanky battleship. Can't really beat that, right? So this has been kind of getting some negative feedback from a lot of people, and the reason why is because the main battery, 380 millimeters, which is fine, but the dispersion is pretty lackluster. It can be kind of hot and cold from times, but I think overall it's pretty freaking solid. On top of that, I love stealthy battleships. Everyone can see I'm an expert on almost every one of my builds for battleships, and you are at 11.2. You are almost cruiser level detection. Tirpitz or the Bismarck is going to be around 12 and some change. Alabama, North Carolina, you're around 12 and some change. I think the Amagi, I don't know if this has a 10-point captain, does 13. So you are very stealthy, one of the stealthiest. I think the only thing that's going to beat you is a Monarch with a 10-point captain. So I love being able to get in, attack, get out, and then reposition. This line is pretty quick at 31.5. As I say, this line, I'm talking about this in the Caesar at Tier 5. So diving into its hit points, 65,400. Pretty damn competitive at this tier. You got the Tirpitz and the Bismarck that are be a little bit closer to 70k. The Alabama and NorCal, they're gonna hover around those low 60s to mid 60s. So really 65k and some change, 65.4 is extremely good for this tier. You know, not a very small health pool, kind of like you see like the Conqueror at Tier 10 has a relatively small health pool compared to a lot of the other guys. But 65k, very competitive. The armor on this ship is actually really good. It's actually pretty tough to Citadel. For this, if you keep relatively angled, you can actually bounce a ton. I was bouncing a lot of Yamato shells, and was able to really kind of brawl and bow tank with this a lot. You know, the guns are very protected, and the armor belt and the fore-end armor belt makes it relatively tough to Citadel. And when you take that out, there's a little bit extra Citadel in the front. So it's actually pretty tough to Citadel this ship. But, you know, I like how tanky this is if you keep it angled. Now, it does have a relatively big superstructure, so since it is a semi-wide ship, as you can see right there, you can hit the superstructure a little bit and do some extra damage, but I found it for actually going in and brawling, I found it to be very successful. Torpedo protection at 40%, that's pretty damn good, and especially since you will be a little bit closer, since you are stealthy, you're going to use that ability, and your range is only 18.1, so you're going to kind of bounce in between of detection and really kind of punish battleships. Main batteries, 3x3, so 2 in the front, 1 in the back, of triple 381s, which is pretty good. You know, you're going to be right there kind of with the Bismarck, if you ever played that, a little bit bigger than that, and a couple other guys. What else was it? I think the Monarch is the other one with the 381s. So if you ever played the Monarch and told how hard, if you ever shot IP in that thing, you kind of are going to have a feel of how hard it hits. But 380, 381 right in that area, you're going to be hitting pretty hard. You're going to, every 30 seconds is a nice little salvo coming out. Now, this ship does have a little bit of a dispersion problem. I understand that. That's kind of its biggest gripe, but that's kind of its only real negative, in my opinion. And really, if you are playing this and putting shots out consistently, you are going to be successful. And I don't think I've had a game that, besides maybe one, that I didn't have like 100k in this thing. It hits really hard, and because its detection is so low, you can get in really good spots for crossfire. Secondary, you're not going to be rolling secondary builds with this thing, but the secondaries are there at 6 kilometers. They're going to start pounding some stuff, so it is kind of nice. And like I said, main armament is 18.1 kilometers, so that's all right. Kind of shorter for this this tier, but still, you have the detection to get closer and make it work. AA is pretty solid. It's kind of middle of the pack. I would consider it kind of Tirpitz if you check out the Tirpitz load. A little bit higher than that. What would be a good comparison? Maybe the Amagi. So you're a little bit higher than the Amagi. So you're going to be knocking some planes out of the sky, but you won't be getting clear skies like you would in the NorCal or Alabama, something like that. So you're kind of between that German and NA, or that USN, if you will, for how many planes you're gonna be knocking out. But 125 damage per second, coming out almost 6 kilometers, and this is with an AFT captain, and as well not gonna create a division. So we're gonna wait for the UI to slow down, and with the module as well. So almost 6 kilometers, gonna start pinging those out, and then of course the AA is pretty good in the way. So you're gonna be knocking out a few. It should hopefully help you keep alive, but you won't be getting clear skies in this thing. I mean, maybe you could be running like a full AA like troll build with this, but I just don't feel like it'd really be worth it. Maximum speed 31.5 knots with a relatively decent turning radius and rudder shift, and then of course that almost cruiser level detection. And all in all, the ship is a blast. Let's dive into some gameplay and we'll show you what this ship can do. So a little side note, in this game we'll be using the Mikado Kobayashi camo, which if you have seen it, it looks kind of ridiculous. I think all in all, the camo looks pretty cool, but it has this weird can, this beer can. Everyone's calling it the Coca-Cola can. I call it the Stella Artois can. This is the camo we'll be using. The reason we are using this is because it does give us the extra credit. So credits earned 20%. So the normal one is going to be 10% to the ship cost plus the 3,350. This one is going to be 50% to the cost of the ship post-battle service. It's a premium ship anyway, so the cost is going to be almost nothing on this. 20% credits earned, so that's an awesome extra little bonus. And then 100% to XP instead of 50. So this is the camo we'll be using. It is a goofy looking camo. I think if you take off this part right here, it's pretty cool looking. This is just weird. A little fact though, this does not have a hitbox, so it doesn't make your ship easier to hit. So this is the camo we are using. I forgot how many it costs. I think like 3,000 doubloons or something like that, or you could have bought it with a package. But that's what we'll be doing, and we're racking up those credits. So here we are in game with the Roma and that insane camo. We're going to be using this camo whenever we play it though, because the credit potential is insane. Our division though, 1 Roma, the stealthy battleship with 2 destroyers, and man did we get lucky with this roll. We're mid-tier right now, so we'll take that any day of the week. Anytime you're not bottom tier at tier 8 is a reason to celebrate. And also, we had 3 tier 8 destroyers compared to their 2, which is awesome, and their 2 destroyers are tier 7, so feels good, man, on that. But we're going to kind of support our destroyers as well as our CV supporting our destroyers as well, which is awesome. We'll try to lock in B. And on this map, I tend to go B and C. I think A is kind of a bit of a trap, and they have to single file. We'll try to knock out this Kutuzov as much as we can with a nice little broadside salvo. Now, people are giving this ship a lot of grief about its dispersion, and when I think we got a little robbed right there, I'll be honest. But with this ship, I feel like if it had, and we're gonna start knocking out some of these planes, if it had an insanely high or insanely accurate, and as you can see, I'm kind of freaking out right now because of these dive bombers. We're gonna knock out a couple, but we're not gonna knock out 2 sets of AP bombs, which was what I was really nervous about. I didn't want to get like halved, so I'm trying to get as close to this Missouri as possible. But our pro Lexington comes in and just helps the little Roma out. So there we go. Knocked down 3 during that whole thing. So not too bad. We've moved near the Tirpitz, helped with our AA a little bit, and those Torp bombers as well. So he's gonna come in, snag a couple more, and props to our CV for helping us out right there. And we can help him out, take out those fighters, and he just did amazing. We complimented him this game. But one thing is, I don't think people realize if this ship had really good dispersion, right? Ships that we can kind of talk about that have really good dispersion as for battleships. I think NorCal overall, NorCal, Alabama have pretty damn good dispersion. Like Montana, stuff like that. The USN line's kind of known for having pretty good dispersion. Missouri, Iowa. If it had extremely good dispersion, this ship would be over the top overpowered, because not only are you one of the stealthiest ships, you have decent AA, and you have guns that hit pretty hard. You have decent armor profile, and then you'd have good dispersion on top of that. You almost have no weakness. So this ship has to have this weakness. I think this is kind of the give and take of that ship, and I really feel like that this is kind of the trade-off for this. And all in all, I think it's fine. I think the ship is fine how it is, and when I'm hitting the hits, it's hitting hard. And I'm not, if any of you ever played in closed beta and played the Colorado back then, that ship actually made me not want to play battleships anymore. That thing had such inconsistent dispersion that it made me actually quit playing a line of ships. This, I'm having tons of fun playing it because I love the stealthy playstyle of battleships. I love that playstyle, and actually really enjoying it. So Akatsuki's in there. I think one of our DDs took a torp, or he got picked on a little bit, so we're gonna put a shot on this guy. Of course, one big thing you can do as a battleship player is get better at shooting with spotter plane. We just pumped in maybe 7K on that guy, absolutely lit him up. If you are a battleship player and play battleships consistently, practice shooting with spotter planes. So I know I used to hate spotter planes, but then I started playing a little bit of Clan Wars with the spotter plane, and it can hit shots that you normally wouldn't be able to. So I'm trying to see if we can maybe save our shot on this, but I think we do putting a salvo in on him, because you always want to kill the DD regardless. We're waiting. The shot is in. If you are a battleship player, and I completely turn into this and play it terribly, so this is going to be my, alright, I killed one of your destroyers, but here you go. So a nice little, we're going to turn in, I think we're going to do 2, which kind of sucks. But even with 40% protection, we're still going to take a decent amount of damage because so that was my trade. That was karma right there. But if you are a battleship player, practice, do it in training rooms, which are up for everybody. Do it with whatever you can. Practice shooting with spotter planes, because if you do, it will make you a better battleship player total. As you can see right there, there's kind of the downside. This is what everyone's talking about with the Roma right here. This is a Roma salvo, and I remember talking about it. 12 kilometers, 12 and a half kilometers. You pick any other battleship, I'd probably just dev strike that guy. That's just what you're going to get with the Roma. It really is. I'm not going to kind of sugarcoat it and be like, no, it's trying its best, is it? You're going to get salvos like that. And that, I remember specifically, that's why I wanted to show this game, that you will get salvos where you absolutely dunk destroyers, and then you will get other salvos where you miss broadside ships from 12 kilometers. But we ended up putting a nice little extra salvo. He sat there long enough for me to put in another one, and boom, there's the Citadel. So hot and cold all the time. That's just how it's going to be with this ship. It really is. This is how it's going to be. So all in all, 30k damage so far, and we're kind of working. We're trying to kind of hold this side and maybe take out that destroyer. Our destroyer rolled over the ACAP because someone was capping it. We end up having to bail. You gotta be a little careful with getting like lit on fire and stuff like that. Now, I wasn't sure if this Akatsuki was gonna ground, but the faster we can take out Akutas off, the better, because of how strong that ship can be. And the Akatsuki ended up pushing, so that probably would have been a good shot there. But if we can take out Akuta, one, that's going to help our CV out, and two, that's going to help our team out, especially the Iowa is getting obliterated. So, boom, down he goes. That was all in all version. And we're going to turn and try to knock out this Akatsuki. Now, it's an Iowa, not a Missouri, so we're not going to have the radar. But then I can kind of focus on these other guys if they go down. So, Lion goes down as well. So, we got a nice little point boost right there. And I love, like, as you can see right now, I'm not detected. I love playing battleships that you can post up, go undetected, and then reposition, and then all of a sudden you are that stealthy battleship that's pummeling a team broadside. I absolutely love that playstyle. So we're gonna kind of push in, maybe take out this Neptune, who's trying to be a Mematoon or whatever they call them, the Mematar, whatever. We're just gonna kind of work him. No big deal. We got a couple guys working. We got that Freddy right in front of us. That's pretty low. We got the Akatsuki right there. We're definitely putting our next shot in the Akatsuki, because a team without DDs is basically a team without, like a tree without a trunk. So, and right there's the hot and cold dispersion. I mean, that would probably have dev struck that guy. So we're gonna push in, let that fire burn, because it's no real big deal. It's just one fire. Try to take out this Neptune. I don't know if that Neptune has smoke. He is hiding in smoke. But that's because the Akatsuki is right there. So we're just kind of waiting to see if we can maybe get a spot on him. I'm just going to go dark if I can and try to hide behind this island. But I'm just like, we can maybe snag this guy. Of course, broadside to Neptune's painful. Just keep pumping out some damage. There's no reason to stop pumping out damage right now. But the heal up there, snagged him for another 3k. And right now we're about 50k, which I think is what we would have been able, I think the only kind of trade we would have had right here, we would have done if maybe we're in like a USN or like a key, that would have helped us a little bit more with taking out the first set of planes. But really, I think like us being that stealthy and getting in spots, I think has kind of helped us a lot. So we're trying to get maybe a nice little pot shot on one of these guys, but I'm gonna rotate back and help my destroyers. Neptunes are pains in the asses for these guys, and so if I can help, you know, I could potentially one salvo both of them since I'm in a battleship. And their whole team, as you can see, push towards C. They never cap C, and so we're gonna have a massive advantage. And our Iowa looks like it's going to get picked on a little bit here, but nothing you can really do. We'll work on these 2 Neptunes and just help our destroyers out, and then it's basically a GG right there. You know, 3 kills so far, and you know, 50, almost 54k, 9 planes. As you can see, we're knocking some planes out of the sky. You know, it's not like you're kind of sitting there just twiddling your thumbs as planes are flying around you. You know, we're at 5, 6k, and we're still knocking out some planes. So waiting for the Neptune to make that turn. Gonna offer up a nice broadside, mediocre dispersion, but good enough to knock out 19k on him. That'll help our DDs. They can maybe alpha him down. He's probably trying to pop some corpse out, and so he's down to 200, less than 300, and boom, our DDs knock him out, which is awesome. Our Lexington knocks out another ship, and here, go to a nice little salvo. We're gonna try to take out this Neptune as well. We're gonna chase him down for a little bit. Our guys can snag B, and we'll just basically push this team out to the port, which is amazing. I wasn't sure if he was going to overturn this or not. We had really good dispersion, so if he did, he was going to get smacked. Luckily, Happy Burster. Oh, he got lucky on that one. And here was another one. I did this twice this game. Twice this game, where I turned into torps. I gotta say, I don't do this often. I did it twice in one game, so of course smacks me in the face. They put an extra salvo just for an extra cherry on top, and there you go. I remember in Discord they were giving me grief about that, if I was going to take all the torps in the entire game. So kind of a bummer. But what they were going to do is they were going to steam towards A. I had to think it'd be basically impossible for this Neptune to really kill me. He has no support, nothing to spot him, so he has to stay spotted. Give me a salvo or 2 and he's going to be out of it, especially with the Scharnhorst helping us out. Just out of my range, though. Just out of my range, literally. We have 21.7 with spotted. He was at 21.8, which kind of sucks. But, you know, the downside of this ship. 1, its dispersion is going to be very hot and cold. 2, it's going to be limited by range. You know, Tirpitz and Bismarck and stuff like that, you have low range, but you have extremely long secondary, so it makes up for it. This, though, you have very low stealth. So what you can do is you don't need to be sniping. You're not going to be very effective sniping with this ship anyway. You're going to use your stealth to get into positions to be as effective as possible, which I love that playstyle. So right now this Neptune has decided to get aggressive, and he actually gets spotted before I do, which is awesome, by my plane. So I actually get kind of the jump on him. He's kind of oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, 75k. You know, what would an extra 38k look like? You know, a little bit extra damage. What I did is I tried to bait out his turn. Nice little OP strat, if you want to check that out. What you can try to do, it doesn't work every time, obviously, is I'll shoot one turret. It's a little 11k right in the bow. Is I will shoot one turret, because if people are paying attention, they're waiting for that shot to make that turn. And what I'll do is I'll shoot one turret, and then I'll shoot the rest of them after he makes his turn or figures out which way he's going to go. Because once he gets locked into a turn, he can't do too much. So he's trying to dump torps. I'm not going to let him. Spotter plane is up, so we got a little bit of a different view. Mediocre dispersion. One overpen, which kind of sucks. And some more shots are in. Boom, down he goes. We've all popped a Royal Navy pimple every once in a while. So, boom, down he goes. 4 kills, 110k damage. Our CB's going to go on, I think, for the killing blow. And everyone's talking about how many planes they shot down. So, there we go, guys. All in all, I've really, really enjoyed the ship. I like its playstyle. I think this is a good show of uniqueness. And of course you can pick up this camo and earn a ton of credits. Now we have this thing stacked up with flags, with the wyvern, all that kind of stuff that gives you extra credit potential. But if people always ask me what's a good ship that's fun to play and earns a tons of credits, you know, the same ships come up, like Tirpitz, you know, but it's kind of very similar to a Bismarck. Otago is always really good. There's lots of ships that are very good. Of course, the Missouri, if you can get it, with whatever time is left on it. But the Roma with this camo is actually extremely good. Now, this camo I think is kind of ridiculous in points. It does have the whatever, the Stella, we call it the Stella Artois can in chat. Although it doesn't have a hitbox, so just keep that in mind. It has an extra credit potential, so this is this is a fun ship I enjoy to play. Two, a ship that I'm enjoying playing, and one can make you a ton of credits. So here we go, guys. A massive credit gain on that. 1.2 million with a dreadnought, always good. And 4 kills, 110k damage. That's pretty solid for us, kind of defending a lot that game and having kind of the lackluster range. So my overview of this ship: one, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's stealthy. It's quick. It has good guns. Downside of this ship is its range is going to be one of the lower ones at this tier, and two, its dispersion could be hot or cold. But when it's hot, it's real hot, guys, and you can absolutely obliterate ships. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. The Roma, the tier 8 Italian battleship, the second battleship out for the Italian nation for battleships. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.